Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Hello, my name is Syed. I am student of grade 8B at Indian School, Doha, Qatar. Today we are going to do from algebraic expressions the multiplication. And in our last two videos we were discussing addition and subtraction by arranging the terms, by arranging the like terms in same column. For instance, we have x in a term and x in all other three terms also. So what we are going to do, first we are going to take the first term in addition. We were taking the first term and we were arranging it first at the first column, making a new column. Then we were looking the same terms which were having the variable x, and we were taking them and arranging them in the same column and adding them. But in subtraction, what we were doing, we were looking at the first term, but the numbers. But which number was greater, then we were taking it first. The whole term, the whole expression we were taking first. Then the first or second expression which was smaller at the first number, we were taking it at the second expression as the second expression. Then we were changing the sign and doing its additive inverse, and then we were subtracting it. And today we are doing multiplication. So, for instance, we are having an example like x into 3y. So this is an example. For instance, I am taking this. So x into 3y. Now we have x and 3y. So x, 3 and y. So there are basically three factors in this term. So one is x into 3 into y. So this is one term, this is one factor, this is the second factor, and this is the third factor. It's y. So this is the third factor. Now we are having three factors in it. When we multiply it, we get the answer as 3xy. How? The x which we were multiplying at the question, which was given us to multiply from in the question, we multiply it and we got the answer in this. How? This 3y was only 3y. But then when we multiplied x, how we got that? So x was here into. So when we multiplied x, we added 3. We added x in the term 3y, which was equal to 3xy. Now I am going to write it simply. We can even write it 3, or we can write it 3yx. Both will have the same meaning. How? Because we are going to do like 2 into 4 equals 8, and here also 4 into 2 equals 8. So both are same. So it doesn't matter if we change anything. I'm going to change the marker here. So this is the this is how we can do the addition, how we can do the multiplication. We can do them like this: 3x or 3xy or 3yx. So there are two methods in it. Now these are not so much important, but the important thing is look at the powers. Now we are getting in the questions. In this question we are getting a power, and in this and in some more questions we are going to get. So now let's go to the question. So we have 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 5. We have 5 questions in the first question. The exercise 9.2, the very first question. We have 5 questions in it, 5 parts. Now the first question they are asking is 4, 7p. Now 4 and 7p, they have given us two terms. Now two terms, one is 4 and one is 7p. Now we are going to multiply them. So when we are going to multiply them, so in the first term we don't have any expression, any variable. But in the second term we have an expression and variable, a variable. which is p. Now we are going to separate them. How? Like 4 into 7, which is equal to 28, as we know. But in bracket we are going to write them into p. Now there's only one p here. So the first question is very simple question. So we are going to multiply the constants in it and going to write the answer from which we got the constants. We are going to write it with the p. Now 4 into 7, which is equal to 28. I'm going to write which is equal to 28, and this p we are going to multiply with the product of this product. So for 28 into p, which is equal to p. So this is the answer for the first one. So these are the simple questions. So the exercise 2 is also a simple exercise, as the exercise 9.1 was. So now the next question is, I'm going to write it here. Then minus 4p and 7p. So there are also in this question also we have two terms. One is minus 4p and one is 7p. We are going to write here multiplication sign because they are asking us to multiply. So minus 4p into 7p. Now minus 4 into 7. What we are going to do? We are going to separate the constants. Separate the constants in one term and separate the variables in one term. So we have minus 4 and 7 as constants. So minus 4 into 7, and we are going to write into. Then we are going to take the variables in bracket. P into p. Now, which is the answer we are going to write. So minus 4 into 7, as we did previously here, 4 into 7, which was equal to 28. We are also going to get here 28. But we have a negative sign here. So negative sign means it will be minus 28. So this will be minus 28. Now here we are not going to write 1p as it was here, but we are going to write p squared. How and why? Because 1p has the value of 1, and this second p also have the value of 1. So 1 and 1, they will be having the power as 1. So we are going to add them. The powers we are going to add. Remember when allow me to recall. We are going to add. We are going to multiply the variables and constants, and we are going to add the powers of every variable or number or constant. So in algebra, basically we will have powers on the new variables only. So power also has a great value in the answer. So 1 plus 1, as I mentioned, the sum of powers and the product of multiplication, the product of constants and variables. So we are going to do the sum of powers, which 1 plus 1, which is equal to. We are going to write the variable as it is. We are not going to change. We are not going to change the variable, but we are going to change the power. So 1 plus 1, which is equal to 2. So p raised to 2, or we can say it as we know, p squared. So 2, the power 2, we can call it as p squared. Now the third question. The third question we are going. This is the answer of second question. The third question is minus 4 7pq. There are in this question also we have two terms. One is, I'm going to do it. This is the second answer. Then I'm going to do it here. Minus 4 into 7pq. Hello, don't get confused. I would like to say you, there is only an additional variable in it. As we did p was very easy thing. So we found it very easily p. In the first one we added the powers, and in the first one we wrote it as it is because there was nothing with p. So, and the second question we added the powers, the sum of powers. And the third one, we have got two variables in it, two different variables. But first let's write the step. I would like to say you allow me to say you a trick for it. It's a very good trick. So minus 4 into 7. Now into bracket we are going to write P into Q. Now it's not like a trick. We are going to use it as a normal thing, which our class teachers teach us, and as we know also. So minus 4 into 7, which is equal to 28, as we did here. So we are going to get the answer minus 28. And so it cannot be a trick, but we can say it as a trick. So P into Q. Now we are not going to add them, multiply them. We are not going to search for their variables and the powers. We are just going to add them, multiply them. Why? Because in the second question we were having two same variables. That's why we added the both powers. If we take powers in this question, in this variable, we are not going to do that, because addition rule is possible only in like terms, which are like, which are same. So, but here P and Q does not have equal value, so we are not going to add them with their powers. We are going to write them directly with PQ, as it was written for 7, for the constant 7. Now let's go to the now this is the answer for the third question. Now we are going to do the fourth question. So I'm going to do it here. Now fourth question, what they are asking is 4p cubed. This is 3. So in the exponential form, we will call it as cube. So this is 4p cube minus, they have given us two terms here. Now the second term is minus 3p. Now this is also an easy question. Don't think that, oh no, we have a cube here, we have a cube here. No, it's an easy question, as we did here all the three questions. It's also easy. I will show you how. Let's do 4p cubed into minus 3p. Now, as we did in our previous questions, we took another column. We took a term for the constants and another term for the variables. As we are also going to do it like this. So 4 into minus 3, and in bracket we are going to write into. It's not important to write the into sign. It's in our wish, because as we did in grade 7, in grade 6, we were doing in the linear equations. We did the second chapter of this year. In the linear expression, in the chapter linear equations, and in one variable, we were putting the numbers after the constant. We were putting it into the bracket, but we were not writing the into sign. But it's in our wish. If you want to write, we can write. But we can write it like this. It's okay. So 4 into minus 3, then into p cubed. We are going to write the first variable here, and into p. So there are two variables and two constant in it, as usual. Then 4 into minus 3, it is equal to minus 12, because we have a negative sign here. So minus 12, and now p cube and into p. Now there we are going to we have one, as we did here. We have one here and we have one here as the power. So we are also going to have a one power here. So P into P will be P only, but while the variables are same, concentrate on the powers. If the powers are given, concentrate on the powers. So here we were not having powers. It's not important to write and judge how we have to solve this. But we can, if there is P into P, like we can say one P is here and one P is here. So there are two P's and we are going to write it P square. Not P into P, because it's in the standard form and we have to write in the full form, in the short form, which is equal to P square. Now minus 12, and in bracket we are going to add this 3 and 1. Now 3 plus 1, which is equal to 4. Now P into P raised to the power 4. P raised to the power 4. So this is the variable which we are going to do here. Now this is the fourth one. Now the fifth one is very easy one. We have a 0 in it. So 4P. I'm going to erase this for having a little bit space. Now 4P and 0. So we have two terms in it. Now this will be a very easy thing. As we know, as we did in the previous classes, in the previous questions. 4P and 0. Now 0, if we multiply anything, we will get the 0 also. But the question is about the variable. The variable will also be 0. Now I will do it and show it. Now P into 0. Now 4 into 0, which is equal to 0. And then into P. In the bracket P. We are not going to write P. We are not going to get any value. The answer is not P. In my previous videos, we discussed that if we have any value like 1, we are going to write as the variable itself. But in this, we don't have even 1 in this. So no need. So there is no use of writing P, and we should not write it the P. Now when we do the whole sum, 4 into 0 is equals to 0 into P. Now 0 into P, which is equal to P only. Now how? Because the value of P, if there is nothing, then we are going to make the variable into the constant, which is the regular constant for any variable is 1. So 1 into 0, which is equal to 0. So nothing. It's also an easy question, so we are going to get the answer for this, for the fifth one is 0. Thank you, and we are going to meet in our next video, which is in which we are going to solve question number 2. Inshallah. Bye bye.